Every Chihuahua house has a hierarchy, and you already know where you fall on it. There's the chosen one, and then there's everyone else, quietly paying rent in the Chihuahua's kingdom. If your dog picked someone else as their person, this video is going to make a lot of things make sense. I'm going to walk you through why Chihuahuas bond so hard with one human, why it usually has nothing to do with how much you feed them, and the gentle stuff that actually helps if you're tired of being treated like staff. We'll cover the 5 things that quietly decide who gets chosen, and near the end, the signs that mean this favorite person thing has tipped into something worth paying attention to. So here's the scene every Chihuahua owner knows. One person sits down and the dog launches across the room like they've been reunited after a war. Someone else reaches for the same dog and suddenly it's a stink eye, a slow retreat, maybe a dramatic little huff and a turn of the back, the audacity of a 6-pound animal. And the part that stings? The favorite isn't always the person doing the work. You can be the one buying the tiny sweaters, refilling the water bowl, handling the 2 a.m. potty trips. And your Chihuahua still acts like the sun rises and sets on someone who barely remembers to feed themselves. It can feel like a tiny, furry rejection, and I get it. Here's the reframe I want you to sit with. For a 6-pound dog living in a giant, fast-moving human world, picking one steady human is less about playing favorites and more about finding an anchor. Once you see it that way, the behavior stops feeling like a snub and starts making a lot of sense. So let's get into the why. There's rarely one single reason a Chihuahua picks their person. So think of these as ingredients that mix differently for every dog. First, personality. Chihuahuas tend to be emotionally expressive and genuinely selective little dogs. A lot of them seem wired to invest hard in one relationship instead of spreading their affection evenly around the room. Second, reinforcement. The person tied to comfort, food, the good walks, and the really good cuddles often becomes the dog's main source of good things. Over time, that one human turns into the warm center of the Chihuahua's whole day. Third, who's simply around the most. Dogs bond with whoever is consistently present and consistently calm. Notice I said calm. It's often not the loudest, most excited person in the house, but the one the dog can settle next to without anything being demanded of them. Fourth, history. If your Chihuahua is a rescue or was rehomed, they didn't show up as a blank slate. They arrived with opinions already formed about which kinds of humans feel safe. Maybe they're wary of men, or fast movement, or a certain tone of voice. Past experiences quietly shape who they trust first, and that's not something you can rush. And fifth, size and sensitivity. When the entire world is loud feet, sudden movements, and hands coming at you from above, having one reliable person to orbit can genuinely help a small, sensitive dog feel secure. Now here's the piece a lot of people miss, and it's the most important thing in this whole video. For a lot of Chihuahuas, the favorite human doubles as a safe base. It's the lap they retreat to when the doorbell goes off, the voice they listen for in a crowd, the schedule they've quietly memorized. So when your dog bolts to their person in a stressful moment, that's not them being clingy for the sake of it. That's a little dog telling you, in the only way they can, this human makes the scary stuff okay. That's trust. And once you see the favorite person as emotional safety, how you respond to all of this changes. Okay, so what if you're the demoted one and you'd like to climb the rankings? The good news is you can. The slightly annoying news is you can't bribe your way up. Trust with a selective little dog grows through calm, low-pressure time. So here's what actually helps. First, let the dog come to you instead of reaching down and scooping them up. To a tiny dog, a hand coming down from above is a lot. When you sit lower, stay still, and let them make the first move, you instantly become safer to be around. Second, take over one of the good routines. Be the one who handles a meal, the favorite evening walk, or the wind down before bed, so you become a source of good things instead of just another set of giant feet. Third, keep your voice calm and your movements slow and predictable. Quick gestures and loud, excited energy can feel overwhelming to a sensitive dog, even when it's friendly. A relaxed presence almost always works better than trying hard. And fourth, reward the brave moments quietly. When your Chihuahua chooses to sit near you on their own, a soft word or a small treat tells them good things happen around this person too. You're not forcing the bond, you're making it worth their while. Give all of this days or weeks, not minutes. Some dogs widen the circle fast, others take their sweet time, and both are completely normal. Now the part I promised you. Most favorite person behavior is harmless and honestly kind of sweet, but it's worth a closer look when it tips into guarding or real anxiety. Watch for a dog who growls, snaps, or stiffens when someone approaches their person, who can't settle at all when that human leaves, or who starts guarding the lap or the bed like other family members are intruders in the throne room. If you're seeing any of that, especially paired with shaking, hiding, or refusing food, that's the moment to loop in your vet or a qualified behavior professional. I mention the vet first on purpose because sometimes what looks like sudden clinginess or irritability is actually pain. A dog who doesn't feel well will often cling harder to their safe person, so it's worth ruling out a medical cause before you assume it's purely behavioral. Here's where I land on all of it. A Chihuahua who picks one favorite person is mostly just showing you how they've learned to feel safe in a big, fast, unpredictable world. That intense little bond is genuinely one of the best things about living with this breed. It can ask a bit more of us when it tips into guarding or panic, and those situations are so much easier to help with patience and, when you need it, a professional in your corner. But for most of us, the chosen human thing is simply part of the deal. Some of us were lucky enough to get picked, and the rest of us get to keep working our way up the royal household, one calm, treat-filled moment at a time. So I have to know, who's the chosen one in your house? And be honest about where you actually rank, because I have a feeling some of you are dead last and at peace with it. Drop it in the comments, I really do read them. If you want the full written version with the warning signs and the trust-building steps all laid out, the article's linked down in the description. And if this sounded a little too much like your house, come join the Chi Society Pack. It's free, and it's where we send the tiny dog stories, behavior breakdowns, and rescue updates every week. Links below. I'll see you in the next one.